Greetings from Everquest Footpad. This is Chris Colby, my pocket shaman. Let me get my horsey. There you go. All right, so I don't really use my shaman for very many things. Right now he's only level 72. He doesn't really have any AAs, 114 AAs. Usually I just use my shaman primarily for making illusion pots. His alchemy isn't very high, so he is a true alt. He's not a box. He's on Deal's account. But I wanted to go over money making in Everquest. There's definitely some good YouTube videos out there on how to make money. Things like power leveling, selling ports, selling buffs, services that you can offer other players. Definitely great ways to make money. Farming cash, say from Wrath Mountains or Gyrospire or Beza in Secrets of Fadewar. That's great cash camps. Selling to players or selling to NPCs, so like vendor trash. And then just buying and selling in the bazaar. And I think trading is probably the best way. This is how I do make money. Cover up the names here, sorry. But yeah, trading, just figuring out, I mean, it's one thing to ask, well, how do you make money in Everquest? But I tend to ask, just change that question to when is the best time to sell? Because obviously you want to sell when the demand for certain items are at their highest. And if you consider where we are between the Seeds of Destruction and Underfoot about to launch, in Underfoot, the Coldane Shawl is going to undergo, we're going to get a Coldane Shawl 2.0. So a lot of ingredients to raise your trade skilling, including raw materials and subcombines, are going to go up. As well as raw materials and subcombines, the value for certain trade skilled armor sets goes up. It's also true of cultural armor. You got to get so certain materials like these immaculate silks and these immaculate animal pelts. I mean, like 2,000 Plat for a single pelt, and this guy's selling 194. These do very, very well. If you look under Immaculate Privet and Immaculate Delphinium, these are poison-making materials. These require a level 90. If you can see that, that requires a level 90. These can't even be made during Underfoot, so it won't be until the expansion after Underfoot that they can even be used, and they're selling quite high. Eventually, the Immaculate Privet and the Immaculate Delphinium can make the upgrades to Valens and Talons Tactic Poisons. These are a lot of the Immaculate. If you look at some of the ores, let's look at the Vanadium ore. And let's just sort by how much money they are. Here's Vanadium ore, 2,000 Plat. So the Vanadium ore and the Immaculate silks are selling for 2,000 Plat. So these are the things to start saving. So eventually, and look, even the little old tailored quiver from the original expansion, 1,500 Plat. These will sell. Look at these ores: cobalt ore, tantalium ore. These are used to make cultural armors. Titanium ores, these sell very high. So understanding what expansion you are and understanding the demand. So let me skip over to Alakazam, and I can show you an example of this. Okay, so if you just look back, obviously we're at the Seeds of Destruction Underfoot. We've got a week before Underfoot launches, and we discussed the Coldane Prayer Shawl, getting your trade skills up. I mean, look at, we're about halfway through on the Mangler server. So if we go back a little bit before, we go to Prophecy of Ro, that's when the trophy quests came out. That's when you could start trade skilling trophies. Those trophies gave a 15% modifier. So that's when there tended to be a higher demand for trade skilled items. because a lot of players want their trophies to evolve, but they want to go through the progression in Prophecy of Ro. So it's kind of, they're trying to save time by farming on ingredients, so they don't miss out on the progression. So what they're willing to do is pay for someone else to do the farming. So it's sort of like if you've done that service in a previous expansion, say you've got expansions 1 through 10, where you've already collected a lot of subcombines and you've collected a lot of trade skill materials, you can actually sell them in the bazaar for people that don't want to do any of that farming, and they just want to go through Prophecy of Ro, keying and progression. You'll definitely have a very high market for, there will definitely be a good market for things like picnic baskets. I have a great picnic picture of how much I sold picnic baskets for. Not Misty Thicket picnic baskets, but regular old picnic baskets. I can show you the recipe for that. It's a very, very low trivial combine. Everything's store-bought and very easy to make, and I made a killing on just picnic baskets. So it's not like I really had to do any farming. But other things like spider silks and animal pelts, I can show you a great place where animal pelts drop. If we go back a little further, when we look into Shadows of Lucklin, I call it Lucklin, there's the Seru event. So the Lord Inquisitor Seru. If you're melee DPS, that is, if you're a warrior or a tank, or melee DPS like a monk or a rogue, and you're in a raiding guild, in order to make the Seru Bane, you need a Seru Bane in order to do any damage to them. And so those Seru Bane weapons they're no trade. So the player that wants to deal damage to Lord Inquisitor Seru, and the same is true of a bow, with bow damage for like a ranger, for example. If you want to do damage to him, you have to either make the Seru Bane yourself, either with fletching for the bow or blacksmithing. So you have to get your blacksmithing up to about 150, as well as fletching. So you're required to get your skill that high, because the Seru Bane is very, very expensive to make. So suddenly there's a market for melee DPS and rangers to suddenly start raising their skill into the 150s, where the Seru Bane trivials. And so, if you're looking to make money, you could start collecting things that can help raise your blacksmithing and your fletching skill. Keep in mind, some of these skills require other skills in order to do a subcombine. So in a previous expansion like Kunark or Velius or Classic, you can start collecting those ingredients and just holding on to them until Lucklin. And then when Lucklin drops, you can start selling leather paddings at very, very inflated costs. So it's not really a question of how to make money. It's a question of how much money you can make depending on the expansion. Okay, so the demand and when to sell is kind of what I'm discussing here. So Lucklin with the Seru Bane, that's big. When we look at Scars of Velius, this Coldane Prayer Shawl, if you look at baking and pottery and tailoring, brewing, obviously jewel crafting and fletching, these are all skills. Tailoring's the big one. That one's really hard to get your skill up in the Classic era. So there's going to be a market for trade skilled ingredients, trade skilled materials that need to be foraged, for example. There's be a good market. So my sort of recipe for making money in Everquest really is paying attention to what people are buying. In Velius, people tend to be focused on the Coldane Shawl, so you're providing a service to them by doing farming that they don't have the time to do, and selling them materials for jewel crafting, like blue diamonds. Blue diamonds are a big one. Black sapphires. tailoring ingredients, you know, spider silks, the swatches that you can make. So the subcombine, the swatches, those sell pretty well. You don't have to do blacksmithing directly, but you do for the Luckland expansions. And almost always in the East Common Lands tunnel, before you have a bazaar, you'll have someone put in the channel. They'll say, look, I'm looking for leather paddings. I'm willing to pay this much. I'm looking to buy in bulk. So good time to start shopping for low quality paddings or low quality pelts and leather paddings is any time. You know, so before Velius drops, so that would be Kunark and Classic. So I'd like to go to Everquest Traders Corner now. Everquest Traders Corner. God, I love this website. And let's just look up look up picnic basket. Picnic basket. All right. You'd be surprised how much I made off this silly little subcombine. So let's just go over here to, well, we can look up Misty Thicket picnic baskets, and this requires a picnic basket. There you go. Here's the picnic basket. So you need a steel boning and a woven mandrake. This trivial's at 76, and it yields 10 of them. Okay, I'm going to look in my computer for a picture, because I took a screenshot of how many picnic baskets I sold, how well I did just selling this. 76 trivial, so this will raise your tailoring. You need steel bonings and woven mandrakes. Okay, so the woven mandrakes take 2 mandrake roots, and the mandrake roots, they sell for 5 gold, 2 silver, so like just over a plat per mandrake root. So 2 plat per mandrake root. All right. And it doesn't require any other ingredients. When we look up steel boning, what does that require? That requires a file, which you make at 1 time, right? And that trivial's at 21, a very, very low skill. Water flask, which is cheap. And a small brick of ore. Small brick of ore costs 5. So you're talking about an initial investment of around 1.5 plat, okay? All right, I'll be right back. So you can see here, this is a leftover subcombines from getting my baking trophy to evolve during the Prophecy of Ro. So I used Misty Thicket picnic baskets to get my skill to max level, and I also used Misty Thicket picnic baskets to get the baking trophy to evolve into the Den Mother's rolling pin. So leftover ingredients, these are slices of Jum cake. 100 slices sold for 1,000, so that was 10 per slice. So again, the slices of Jum cake are a subcombine from Jum cake, which is another subcombine. You need brownie parts to make winter chocolate, so you do have to farm brownies. Best place to do it is in Lesser Fadark, pre Secrets of Fadewar expansion. Brownie parts drop a lot more frequently in the SOF expansion. But again, it's making a subcombine and just selling it to make plat, a perfectly good way to make money. Let me show you the picnic basket here in a second. Okay, so here's the picnic basket. Here you see I only sold 36. I had 36 left over, and I sold that for 10,800 plat. Again, picnic baskets, not Misty Thicket picnic baskets, just regular picnic baskets. 300 per basket. So if you take 10,800 divided by 36, that's 300 per basket. Not bad. Not bad for a very, very easy item to make. Very, very low skill required. And all you're really doing is you're trading your time for this money. You're providing essential service at a time when people are trying to get trophies to evolve. So with that, I'm going to show you some places, good places to farm animal pelts. Okay, so I'm going to show you a good place to get pelts, at least where I got them. So we're going to hail the Magnus. So right now we're in the guild hall. We hail Magnus, our Aria, and we're going to go to Nadira's Landing. There you go. And we're going to go to Jagged Pine Forest. Okay, Jagged Pine Forest. There's two ways to get there. You can get there through Butcher Block. So this would be Gates of Discord era. Alright, so I'm going to get my bunny rabbit here. Okay, there we go. Oh, yeah, Nadira's Landing. Okay. So we're going to head to Jagged Pine Forest. You basically head east. And these wolves will, they'll drop pelts and stuff, but you take a faction hit for killing them. So what we're going to do is we're going to head to Jagged Pine Forest. It's the Sucor point on the map if you're a druid. And I'm going to run over there and we'll take it from there. Okay, so we've zoned in from Nadira's Landing into Jagged Pine Forest. The first place that you zone into is this knoll camp, and I'm sorry it's raining. It's weird, it's raining inside like the knoll camp. I think these knolls like me. So what we're going to do is we're going to exit the knoll camp. I'm going to turn down environmental sounds here. Let's turn that down a little bit. There you go. Alrighty. So let's see. There are no people in Jagged Pine Forest. There never really is. During Gates of Discord, when this expansion comes out, a lot of people are working on Gates of Discord keying and progression. So Jagged Pine Forest is generally like forgotten about. It's just sort of overlooked. Alright, there are wild animals here. I think of any animal to kill, it's probably going to be snakes. Because snakes drop anacondas. They drop meats that can make good food. Although they're not as good as these holy cakes. I still like holy cake just to gobble on. Bear over there. But we're actually not looking for animals to get our animal pelts. We're going to go to this camp over here, and it's called a Poacher Camp. There's a cat right there, Black Panther. So we're going to go to a Poacher Camp. Let's find the Poacher Camp, and actually, of course, I'm going the wrong direction. So we're about southeast of the zone in, or southeast from the center of the zone. We go to the Poacher Camp. These poachers are jerks. So any animals that you kill here will cause a faction hit. Okay, so but killing poachers doesn't cause a faction hit. So see these poachers here? They all drop animal pelts. Okay, the way I found out about this camp is farming the half-elf illusion. This illusion right here, the burr nose of the half-breed, causes, as a clicky effect, it causes the half-elf illusion. And this is dropped off Ned Sticklebush. I don't think he's up. And I don't have Annulus here, so I can't track him. He does like to wander. So here's one of the names. Let's just kill him. And let's see, what did he drop? He dropped Niagara Venom. Nice. And he also dropped his head. Right? If you collect his head, the heads are part of a quest, which is pretty decent for the era. But let's just kill these poachers. There you go. Medium quality pelt right there. So killing these poachers doesn't cause any faction hits whatsoever. And I got a lot of pelts from these guys. And sometimes they drop several in a row. Let's just clear the whole camp. So yeah, no faction hits. They drop a lot of high, medium, and low quality cat, wolf, and bear pelt. Don't ever forget about the rock hoppers in Luckland. The rock hoppers, especially in Marisaru, they tend to drop high, medium, and low quality pelts. And these guys are dropping venoms too. That's nice. It's a good place to go for venoms. Let's see here. So I cleaned out that tent. And I think there's one big tent here. Oh, it looks like I aggroed them through the wall. And there you go. That's a complete clear out. To actually get the stickle bushes to spawn, you have to kill all the poachers here. When the stickle bushes do spawn, Ned is one of them. They tend to wander around, so you got to stay on top of the camp. So you have a little campfire here, and then 3 tents. You just got to keep it cleaned out and stay on top of the spawns. But I'm not really talking about the half-elf illusion. I'm just talking about the pelts that you can get. Let's go ahead and just collect them here. From a complete clear, I got 2 medium quality, 3 high quality bear, 2 medium quality cat. So 2 medium quality bear, 3 high, and then 2 medium quality cat. And then these can be using a skinning knife. You can take them down to a low quality skins, and then using spiderling silk, which can be used to make silk thread. Those can be used to make leather paddings. Leather paddings are a subcombine for plate armor, and plate armor up to about a trivial of 188 can get your skill to a point where the Seru Bane weapon is trivial. So these leather paddings and these medium, low, and high quality pelts, they're always going to sell well. And this Jagged Pine Forest camp, the Sticklebush camp, where we do get the half-elf illusion, it's a great place to farm them. And what I like is the mobs they don't wander, so you don't really need a tracker to find these mobs. They're all in static locations. They don't really move. Oh, I think I got a wolf too. Yeah, I got a medium quality wolf too. So yeah, there's even better reasons to come here too.
Well, that's pretty much it with regard to money making. I think the main point here is to pay attention to the demand for trade skilled items, both raw materials, subcombines, what people tend to be working on in terms of trade skill items, and try to farm up those materials and have the subcombines pre-made before the new expansion drops, and just start selling to them, offer that service to people. So it definitely that's how I did very well in these expansions. So not actually farming a specific item or farming vendor trash, but selling trade skilled items. So definitely another option for people to consider. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything else you'd like to see. Thanks so much. Bye.